Out you bleeders, it's 3:08 in the morning here in the UK, and for some reason I'm up with all the gang, with Dave, with Austin, with Lazybed, and we're all here doing a preview show for all of you bleeders out there, and so we're in a hurry for various reasons, so we'll just crack straight on with things, and I'll throw it open to no special Austin on this first fight. Lightweight, Mauricio Ruffy versus James Llontop. Who are you picking? Who are you going with?
For the year the fighting nerds have had, it is hard not to pick Ruffy. Llontop seems like a general regional MMA guy, and to be honest, if we're looking at his resume, Ruffy should run him over. Yeah, hence the nickname. I mean, technically he's not going to never mind. I shouldn't say that. I'm going full on with the Ruffy.
Lacy?
Oh man, well, I think Austin pretty much said there. Ruffy, hot prospect coming out of a hot camp. Fighting nerds, absolutely on fire right now. Seems like they can't lose. No matter who you're talking about, anybody coming out of that fucking gym is just blazing hot right now. Obviously, a lot of comparisons around the MMA world. People talking about his stance, comparing him to Conor, early Conor with the bladed karate stance, etc. Fantastic striker. I do believe we've only seen him one time in the UFC cage so far, so still some questions to be answered there. Although it was a nice knockout, I want to say against Jamie Malarkey. Good fight, good fighter. As far as his opponent, Llontop, 0-2 in the UFC, I believe. Kind of a strange matchup to open a big card like this, but it seems like they're setting up Mr. Ruffy, Mr. GHB, up for a win here, so wouldn't be the least bit surprised if he puts his opponent to sleep.
Okay. Dave, anything to add? Your choice, your pick.
Yeah, actually, I'm going to go with Ruffy here. Fighting Nerds is probably my gym of the year, and I just expect him to do fighting nerd things and get it done.
Cool. And for myself, I'm kind of no surprise here. I'm going with the rest of the gang. Didn't really know much about either of these guys. Quickly looked them up on Tapology and saw that Ruffy was a fighting nerd and has a pretty good record. So very, very easy choice. He's also the huge favourite listed at the moment. So looks like that's all four of us going for Ruffy.
Unanimous.
Only caveat I would add is that Llontop is also a short notice replacement. He was supposed to be facing Charlie Campbell from Longo MMA. So,
okie dokie.
Another reason to pick against him.
Yeah, also true. And Vivian Araujo versus Karine Silva. Who wants to take us away on this one?
I can go first on this one.
Okay.
Viviana Araujo, she at one point, I think back in 2020, was on a bit of a hot streak. Had some hype behind her. A division that's not that difficult to get some hype behind you in. You string together a couple of wins at women's flyweight, and your name can certainly be in contention. Karine Silva, on the other hand, 7 years younger than Araujo, on a nice streak of her own, currently 9 wins in a row. I don't believe she has lost since 2019. So she's, obviously shrieking. Got a lot of momentum behind her. This is another one that kind of just feels like it's just potentially going to be a squash match. So relatively easy pick for me. I'm going to go Karine Silva, and women's fights, always safe to just say it's going to be a decision.
The Jack Black mode of picking fights. Results for female fights, anyway. Yeah, I didn't know too much about either of these two, despite my constant claims that I'm the WMMA expert over MMA guru. But looking at the records, it was pretty bloody obvious who was I was going to pick in this one. Silva, as you said, 9 wins. Araujo coming off a loss for this one. And you mentioned the age difference, which is, I'm just looking at the stats now, just 1 week and 5 days over being exactly equal for 7 years complete. Yeah. So Austin.
Yeah, I was gonna say real quick. Lazy said the whole thing. The streaking fighter with the momentum usually carries a lot of weight in these type of matchups. However, Araujo is a kind of a trap fighter. She tends to fight back. She might not win all the time, and she tends to give hard fights to people when she shouldn't. And I would still lean Silva. She should win. It's her fight to lose, but because of that, I wouldn't count out Araujo. A competitive fight. Women's fights usually tend to be competitive sometimes, especially in this division. I would lean Silva. I would pick Silva by decision, but not out of the possibility for a split decision. Questionable. Card to take for Araujo.
Yeah. Dave.
I'm gonna go with Korean Silva. I think she's beat the better competition like Mariana Moroz and Mariana Lipsky. I thought Lipsky was pretty good until her last fight. She's been more active. She's younger, a better record. Like just looking at the numbers and stuff, and most importantly, she's fun. And I always got to go with the fun fighter. So even if she didn't have all the other advantages, I'd go with her. But Team Silva.
Mm-hmm. Another clean sweep, was it? Again?
Yeah.
And she's not even the best Lady Silva. You got Natalia Silva floating on there.
There's a lot of Silvas. There always have been.
Yeah.
It's got to be one of the most popular names in the UFC. We've got to run some kind of poll and check on it. So yeah, up next, middleweight, Bo Nickal versus Paul Craig. I suppose I should take this one away, really, since it's the only one with a UK fighter involved in it. As much as I like Paul Craig and he's been kind of fun, I am picking Bo Nickal for this one. He's a hot favourite. I think he didn't have the greatest performance last time, although it was a pretty clear win, if I remember rightly. But I can see him in this one. He's going to come out. He's in New York, in that big stadium, and I think he's going to want to try and prove a point. So I think very likely he might even put Paul Craig away in the first round. He's got pretty heavy hands, and if Paul Craig happens to win it, I think he's got to take it into deep waters, and then have. Because we know you can't rule out Paul Craig until the bell rings at the end. Because he has that 4-minute 59 sub on was it
Ankalaev.
Yeah. His name vanished from my head there for the moment. But I have to go for the heavy, the 6-0 wrestling specialist. Although apparently he's been, I presume. He's been doing some BJJ because he's been off quite a while, I think, hasn't he? 6 or 7 months off or something between his last fight.
Yeah, roundabout, yeah.
Yeah. So, no big surprise for me. Bo Nickal, Counter Casuals, lock of the night, I think, there.
Yeah, it's actually been 7 months since he last competed, so yeah. Interesting. Austin, you want to go, or you want me to go? Or?
I'll go.
Dave?
I'll go. The standout wrestler should, without a doubt, handle Paul Craig. His hands will do a decent amount of the work, but I would like to see a little bit more of the grappling aspect take place, because the last time we did see him was against a gentleman named Cody. I forget his last name. Cody Brundage. Thank you. Yes, and he struggled in that fight a little bit. It didn't look comfortable. Maybe that's possibly why he took some time off, which is never a good thing for a guy of his caliber to do. I imagine, partially to his detriment, that he might actually overdo the performance here. He might look for the kill early and get caught, not by a punch, not by an elbow, not by a takedown, a counter takedown, but by a submission. I believe he might leave himself open to something, because Paul Craig is closely the Brian Ortega of middleweight and light heavyweight occasionally. Not very good on his feet. not very good on his back, but the dude is genuinely a dangerous jiu-jitsu practitioner, well, amongst the bigger men. Bo should win handedly. There's no question of whether or not this, the better fighter is definitely Bo, with how limited his experience is. But there, there's a possibility, just like when Brian Ortega fights. There's a possibility he might just catch him slipping. But I definitely pick the Bo Nickal. That's the safer bet.
Dave?
For this fight, I kind of don't like this matchmaking that much, and I don't understand it. I'm gonna go with Paul Craig.
Oh,
Bo Nickal, he hits hard, but he doesn't really have like good striking technique, and Paul Craig is mostly he's a BJJ guy, and a lot of his wins are by submissions. Like if you look, he's got wins over Ankalaev, Jamal Hill, and Nikita Krylov. A couple submissions there, and TKO with ground and pound. I mean, he's kind of terrible, but like Bo Nickal's strongest assets, I think, almost play right into where Paul Craig normally is happy and where he'd want to be on his back. The only thing that concerns me about it is the weight cut, him being down to 185, like a huge weight cut. But I think there's the way that their skill sets line up, and Bo still being relatively new, this is kind of a not a good stylistic matchup for him, and I'm favoring Paul Craig. And we're saying that Bo is a good wrestler, but Bo is a amateur wrestler, and I don't know if he ever competed in the Olympics or anything. But Paul Craig is actually a professional wrestler, and he is the ICW tag team champion. So
That's a good one. That's good.
that's fact.
That's good wrestling humor. That's wrestling humor. I love it.
so
Well,
that went straight over my head.
oh, he's a professional wrestler, it turns out, and he was a champion with Chris Bungard in Insane Championship Wrestling.
Everybody knows professional is greater than amateur.
Yep.
Simple math. All right, I'll go here. You guys, the boys here, making great points as usual. Always some great insight and takes from the fellas here at JBR. The odds say it all. I mean, clearly, Bo Nickal is supposed to win this fight. He's predestined to win this fight. To make any money on Bo Nickal, you need to put your fucking house on him to get any kind of turnover. But I see what Dave is saying. In a sense, Bo Nickal could potentially play right into Paul Craig's hands, or his hand rather. But I kind of also think that this is a perfect fight for a guy like Bo Nickal, because I can see a situation where Bo could easily fake a takedown, like do the little knee tap thing into an overhand and catch Paul Craig right on that fucking chin and put his ass down for the count.
Yeah.
It's a very likely thing, especially like Dave mentioned, with that weight cut down to middleweight at his age. I want to say he's 36, so this is like his third fight at middleweight, maybe, with mixed results thus far. Yeah, really, I could see a scenario where maybe Bo potentially gets overconfident and wants to show off and try to submit a Paul Craig, and he falls into the spider web and gets submitted. But more than likely, I think this is a pretty guaranteed Bo Nickal victory. So that's going to be my pick. Bo Nickal, probably by KO or TKO.
Yeah. Kind of agree there. So 3-1 there. Just Dave on his own there.
Yeah.
Paul Craig might be my lock of the night.
Ooh.
Styles make fights.
Okay.
It's true.
It's a fun one. You should definitely include that in an accumulator or two, Dave. You'll rake it in there, because it's plus 650 at the moment. Well, and the odds I just looked at in Tapology anyway.
Perfect.
Got to be worth a book somewhere. All right, on to the next one then, I guess, which is the co-main at lightweight: Charles Oliveira versus Michael Chandler. And Dave, you haven't led one off, have you? Do you want to bring this one in?
Sure. I think this is going to be a relatively easy win for, well, maybe not easy. He'll probably get cracked, but it's going to be an easier win for Oliveira than last time. I don't think either of them has changed much. Chandler has been out for a really long time. So he's going to come in. I'm not sure I believe in ring rust, but he's going to come in not fresh and, been out of it for so long. And Oliveira is going to come in hot and not happy. Like, I kind of thought he got robbed in his last fight. Maybe not, but he's going to want to prove something that he's still like elite after that fight against Sarukian. And I expect him to come in and have an easier time and get Chandler out of there.
Who's going next?
Yeah, I'll jump in. Similar to what Dave was kind of saying there. I think that Michael Chandler is who Michael Chandler is at this point in his career. What is he, 38 now? If he's not 38, he's damn close to it. It's hard to teach an old dog new tricks, especially a dog as stubborn and hard-headed as Michael Chandler. So he's going to come in there guns a-blazing, and he's probably going to look pretty good for that first round if he doesn't, get caught himself. But after that first round, if this thing continues to evolve and carry on, it's just going to be downhill. Muscle Milk Mike, not known for his cardio exactly or his load management. So I think more than likely it's a similar scenario to the first fight, but I think it's more probable that Charles gets a submission. But I do see a finish on the Oliveira and probably before the third round, so we'll say late second round.
Yes. Yes. Quite indubitably. I do believe that we are going to get the same fight that we got the last time these two fought. I'm not even going to think of anything else because the way Michael Chandler fights and the way Oliveira fights, Oliveira might be more cautious. Oliveira might be more accurate since he's got his eyes fixed and has also faced a lot. He's clean. He's like the other than all Makhachev and Armin. He's the only other lightweight who has actually fought nearly every other lightweight. Dustin and Justin, have been close to fighting every other lightweight, but they've just never held gold. That matters, unfortunately. I think we are going to get the same exact fight that we got when these two first met. Chandler's going to be coming out hot because he has been duped. 18 months from 303 and then still another 3 months almost. You're not going to convince me that Chandler isn't going to look for the finish in the first round and viciously pursue it. Chandler might get it in the first round if he's as adamant as we have perceived him to be. See you at the top is not just a slogan for him. It is a belief. It is a way of life. If you could put that thing in a Bible verse, I guarantee you he would read it out loud several times to his family, to the annoyment of his family. Michael Chandler is a man who was conned, led to believe he would have a red penny night, and unfortunately, he's just going to get boxer briefs that were left over in the dumpster. He is going to look for revenge. Unfortunately, he has a man who has beat him already. Charles Oliveira should handle him. Charles Oliveira has also been dropped multiple times and has, came off of a competitive loss, as Day said, to Armin Sarukian. I believe Charles should win this fight, although it is going to be a hairy situation for him, trying to corral this little pit bull of a, lightweight. We're going to get the same exact fight. Chandler's going to win the first, and Charles is going to finish him in the second.
Hey, Austin.
Yes.
You said he's been getting conned, but if that's true, then that's just karma, because that dude is the biggest con artist I've ever seen in my entire life. And
Yes.
good. If that's the case, if he's getting conned, good, because he deserves to get got.
Neither here nor there. Okay, we can have a whole separate conversation about that fight in itself, but I feel he is just going to unleash and it's going to either be really good for him or it's going to be very terrible, and it's probably going to be the latter.
Last thing that I want to say is that he is a psychotic maniac, and hopefully he doesn't think of his father's hands as he walks to the cage, or he's going to have an emotional breakdown. If you've watched any of the fucking Chandler media leading up to this fight, his father's hands have been his biggest talking point.
I have missed that completely. So I've heard rumors of it kind of stuff, but I haven't heard any details at all. So
Be glad.
It was so weird. It was so it's weird, man.
Yeah, he's very weird.
It's like everyone you ever meet will tell you that Michael Chandler is the hardest working person that you've ever met. But you can do that too. And it's like, what the fuck? No, dude. Sitting here telling us that everyone says you're the hardest working person.
Yeah.
Oh, let him be. He's grieving still.
Yeah, well, quickly I'll jump in on that one before we get any further on there. Yeah, I'm picking Charles Oliveira in this one. Michael Chandler, as everybody else has said, has a chance. He can certainly catch Olives in the first round and just level him. I guess Oliveira is now 36 years old as well, so maybe that chin of his will start to have cracked a little bit of that as his age has increased. But yeah, Oliveira probably by a first or second round. I don't know. Maybe a sub. Maybe another knockout. As Austin said, it could easily be the same fight all over again. And that leads us into the main event. And who wants the honor of taking that one away?
Woo, main event, baby. I think for my excitement, I think I would like to go first.
Yeah, you got it.
All right. Man. Like, has there been a fight in recent memory that's been discussed more than this one? Broken down in every possible manner. So many what ifs, so many questions, so many potential possibilities and outcomes and ways that this thing could unfold. You got a Stipe Miocic who hasn't fought in 4 years. You got a John Jones who's had one fight, if you want to call it that, at heavyweight. We don't know how either one of these guys are really going to look once they get in there. You can think you know all day long how this is going to play out, but at the end of the day, this is a heavyweight fight, man. Heavyweights, we know it's always a coin flip. They could put their lights out, either one of them, at any given moment. Now, we know John Jones is not necessarily the biggest one-punch power threat. Stipe, that's definitely more of his forte, former Golden Gloves champion. But they both also got wrestling in the bag. They've got so many different things at their disposal. It just really comes down to who is at what point in their career and how long does this fight go. I've waffled back and forth on this one all week long. But at the end of the day, I got to go with my boy. I got to go with my fellow Ohioan, Stipe Miocic here, to pull out the upset of the fucking century. I've been saying it everywhere to anyone who would listen. Stipe's got his weekend already planned out. Saturday night, he regains his heavyweight championship in New York City in Madison Square Garden. Sunday, he goes and he poses for his yearly sexy fireman calendar. And then come Monday morning, it's time to go rescue a kitten from a tree, baby. Stipe Miocic, champion of the world. I don't know how he gets it done, but Stipe's going to win. That's my official prediction.
I would love for that to happen. I must.
Don't give me hope, lazy. God damn it. You know what, son of a bitch? I feel like now that you've said it, you've nearly convinced me. You might. You know what? There is a possibility, but it's mainly because John is looking 1 foot out the door as he's trying to scoot past the there's the 3 doors, right? The one door was to Gon, one door is to Tom Aspinall says do not open, very dangerous, and the other door is Stipe Miocic at 309, right? He's skipping over one and leading to the other, and I think that one it's a trap. Stipe's a trap. As much as we want to say Stipe's old, hasn't fought in 3 years, which was my biggest harp on him. Sorry, lazy. He just hasn't fought, and his last fight was against Ngannou, in which he lost handedly. It's interesting considering like Stipe doesn't have a win over any current heavyweight that's inside the UFC. Jones, on the other hand, has only had one current win, and it was against who? Oh, gone. Interesting. As that fight lasted maybe about a minute, 2 minutes at the minute 30 seconds at the most, right?
2 minutes exactly. I checked it earlier today.
I got a feeling that it's a wash because whoever wins, it's not going to be. I don't believe it's going to be competitive. I believe it's either going to be one-way traffic where someone's boxing just happens to play better and just one guy literally kind of bulldozes over, and that boxing being from Stipe. The other person is, either they're both decent wrestlers. One is actually a smothering wrestler. The other one uses his wrestling to set up his boxing. John Jones does not do that. Jones is going to keep you on the mat and just punish you, kind of like how Khabib used to do. But Jones is a lot more methodical with how he, when he does take you down, he does keep you down. And he's not afraid to look for submissions either. Jones does not take a whole lot of risks. And regardless if he was sandblasting hookers, doing an all-night bender, crashing into pregnant women, having domestic situations arise here and there, and I believe he has just settled one that was in court not too long ago. From the altar boy to the sinister little devil that he is, my pick might. Damn it, lazy, you got me. OH.
Oh wow!
Yeah. Fuck! I can't believe I'm picking him, but I'm doing it. He might just get the son of a bitch.
You should both be unhappy that you're not in the Survivors League anymore because you might have won it with those picks. I'll jump on that one then and finish it off. Well, sorry, there'll be Dave to go after, but I am going to spoil the train there because I am going to have to go for John Jones in this one, despite all the horrible things about this one. John saying earlier in the presser conference that he doesn't want to give a younger guy a chance to beat him up because of his legacy. While he calls out and fights on Saturday, 42-year-old Stipe, of course, 5 years older than John. So, and then he's awfully happy that they've got the new gloves in as well because he found the other ones uncomfortable. They were tight and he couldn't open his fingers, which is exactly the bloody point of the things in the first place. So he's very happy to have the old gloves so he can get back to his old ways of poking his opponents in the eye. Because I wonder what the over-under at the bookies would be on Sportsbook, that is, would be on an eye poke or number of eye pokes. I'm sure somebody must be offering odds on it somewhere. And yeah, as we've mentioned kind of behind the scenes, what's happening here, we're interested not so much in the fight itself, although it's interesting enough. We can't deny that, despite it being two old war horses. As you say, Stipe's been off a long time. He's had his time for his brain to rest, though, to get fresh. Shake the cobwebs of fear out of his mind after that brutal knockout by Ngannou. And yet we all want to know what's going to happen afterwards. It seems like John's going to challenge Alex Pereira and give up the heavyweight belt, which, why the fuck are you fighting for it? Why have you held up the division for a year if you knew you were just going to walk away from it? Goat no more. Go away. And I'll pass that one over to Dave. We have got one more topic to go after this, but yeah, go on, Dave. Take it away.
I'm going to go with John Jones. If John Jones is any bit of his former violent, mean self, I think he should devastatingly finish Stipe before the end of the third round, just because Stipe is getting old and, John's pretty nasty. But I almost expect him to be not quite that same person, and this almost to be like a glorified sparring session exhibition match. and him to get like a 48-47 decision win.
Yeah.
So John Jones by decision,
Yeah.
by a glorified sparring match.
Well, a couple of things
Yeah.
to remind me of there. John has been practicing those 12-6 elbows because he'd love to get the first legal finish for the 12-6 elbow. So that's a possible way that he might want to do things if he can get Stipe down and smash him out of the way in that way. And that just leaves us with one other fight for the, I guess it's the previous night, isn't it? It's on Friday night. We have Jake Paul taking on legend that is Iron Mike Tyson. And this fight doesn't interest me at all, except that obviously I want to know the result. And if Mike happens to pull it off and get the win, which I think is highly unlikely given his age, then I will find somewhere to watch that fight and I will laugh my head off. And if I wake up Saturday morning and find out that he's lost the fight, I'll shrug my shoulders and go, "You beat up an old man, Disney kid. What the fuck did you expect?" That's the level of interest I have in that one. So take it away, whoever else wants to go on this one.
I'll go first just to get my fucking shit out of the way here because I feel similar to you. I mean, it's a fight, I guess. I don't really care either way. I kind of feel like it's a lose-lose if you're Jake Paul. And it's kind of a one-way street if you're Mike Tyson to a brutal beatdown. I can't see this going any one way but bad. Realistically, I think that Jake probably stops him. I think he probably finishes him and puts him away. And I think that we're all going to be kind of disappointed, but saying, yeah, that's sort of what we expected. See, I think that Jake Paul probably wins by knockout sometime in, I don't know, the middle rounds.
Yeah, I could see it.
I think Jake Paul wins a decision, maybe kind of carries Mike after hurting him a little bit. When I was looking at pictures of Mike for thumbnails, I was like, man, this is just an old man. And that kind of really put things in perspective. The young kid is going to hurt him and then carry him to a decision.
Yeah, I see that too.
Some people are saying that's the only way he can win because it's a bad situation. If he beats up an old man and knocks him flat, he doesn't look good at all. So
Yeah, because that's the game. Either he's gonna fight for his life in the first like 4 minutes, or for 4 rounds. First like minute, 2 minutes, in the first, another 2 rounds of cautious, behavior, and then another round of just, playing it casually because like you're stuck no matter what you do because of his age, but then he's also got the power, so you're kind of pushing it regardless. So it's a lose-lose for him realistically, unless he takes him to a decision like Dave was saying, like a glorified sparring match. But that's not what people are expecting. And also, does Mike know that?
Mike definitely doesn't.
Mike believes this. I think might be a real fight for him. If you ask Mike, he's like, "I'm gonna kill him. I'm gonna kill him. I'm gonna eat his children, and I'm gonna drink his blood," kind of thing going on with him. So it's like, Jake's just out here, just like, I'm having a good time. I'm promoting the fight. He's doing a bunch of other shit. This would be the perfect time for him to get caught, unfortunately. But Tyson should not be fighting. I'm gonna have to go via questionable scorecards, but it goes the distance, and it's actually somewhat closer than it should be.
Okay.
But Jake Paul wins, though.
Yeah, I think that's what everybody's saying, even me, but even though I don't care about it. The thing I was going to say earlier on that I forgot was the Guru did a legendary finish of how he'd like to see the Stipe and Bones fight end, which involves Tom Aspinall rushing into the ring and beating the shit out of him and all sorts of fun stuff, but well worth a look at. I'm not going to try and explain it all, but it was very entertaining. And I think there's no other fights at the weekend we want to discuss, are there?
No.
There's stuff, but this is the weekend. This is the weekend because Friday's the Tyson fight. on Netflix, and UFC is on the pay-per-view on ESPN Plus.
Cool. Yeah. Quick shout out. Good luck to Veronica Hardy. And that's it from us here at Just Bleed Radio. We will be back, of course, on Monday with a review show, weekend roundup. And until then, good night from us all, especially me, because it's now 3:45 a.m.
Good night.
Good night.
Yes, we
Good
did
night.
Oh, don't forget to like and
Holy.
subscribe, because Dave will shout at me if I don't say that.
Yeah.
It helps.
I'm going to cut all this out. I'm going to cut all this out.
There.
I'm going to cut all this out.
You wet my whistle.
Let's go! All right, guys, we need a countdown now from 10. Are we ready? 10.
Prelims begin at 1 o'clock GMT.
7, 6, 5, 4, 3,